Welcome to my views and news. There's a few days ago I did a video about Fano's failure. I analyzed in that video the areas where Fano fighters could not deliver. I pointed out 5 areas where Fano commanders failed in the last 1 year or so. But if you remember back then, I summed up that the failure was the failure of Fano's commanders, not the failure of Fano fighters. And I said in that video that I would do a video about Fano's gains too. What has Fano gained in the last 1 year? Neutrally. That video I did with a neutral and open mind. And I think majority of viewers supported my position about Fano's failure on 5 fronts. Now let's have a look at Fano's gains. Neutrally. We are not supportive of Fano, Ola, ADF, PFDJ, or Brigade Hamido, or Somalia, or Somaliland. We just analyze. We just share news with you. Yes, mistakes happen. We're open to corrections, but we're trying to cover the Horn of Africa with an open and neutral mind, understanding the issues in the Horn of Africa and sharing this understanding with you. I think Fano gained on 5 fronts in the last 1 year. More than a year has passed, by the way, since the launch of the armed movement in Amhara region. More than a year has passed now. Firstly, numbers. Number of Fano fighters. If you compare today's Fano and the Fano of last year, Fano has come along. Last year, when we covered Fano, the Fano groups were not organized. They had a few thousand fighters, you can say, at maximum, a few thousand. But when PM Abiy made the wrong move of dismantling ASF joined Fano, and then Fano turned into bigger groups. Now Fanos, the number is in tens of thousands, not in thousands. So yes, no one can deny that today's Fano groups are bigger than the Fano groups of the last year. Even Fano's critics acknowledge. A point linked to it is organization. Last year, they were not organized. I mean, Gujjam Fano had no connection with Wollo Fano. Wollo Fano had no connection with Gundar Fano. They were totally disconnected. In the last 1 year, yes, they tried to organize. We cannot say they have managed to organize themselves on regional level, on zonal level. In some zone, they have managed to organize. But we cannot say they have managed to build a central level leadership, central level organization. But still, today's organization of Fano is better than their organization of last year. Definitely, they have organized themselves. More connected they are now. And they get in touch. They have tried to hold elections too. So they have made some efforts to organize themselves. More organized, but not fully organized. Point number one, numbers and organization. Secondly, unity. I believe that Fano groups have managed to unite Amhara people. Some people would not agree with me, but I believe even that those who criticize Fano publicly, even in their hearts, they support Fano. Prosperity Party leaders, government officials, they support Fano, but they cannot publicly say that. So I believe that Amhara is more united today than it was last year. Fano has successfully spread a narrative that Amhara people are victims. They are the victims of actions of federal government. They must rise. They must defend. And this fight by Fano is a fight for self-defense. Their narrative is definitely selling. Amhara people definitely now united more. That is why we have seen some big names join Fano or leave the government, flee the country. Gaiduandar Gaichu fled the country. Some minister also fled the country. Taframamu joined Fano. Tazra also ASF commander joined Fano. And members of parliament speaking in support of Fano. Yanis are in prison, Kishan are in prison. You saw what happened at the recent House of Representatives session where member of parliament from Amhara region said in front of Ethiopian Abiy that people are dying in Amhara region, that ethnicity-based attacks are being carried out, that prisons are overcrowded with Amhara people. So this is what Fano's narrative is. So the narrative is being echoed in the parliament by members of parliament. Unity, yes. Fano groups have managed to unite. We cannot say that 100% Amhara is united. No, that's not possible. Even during Tigray, we saw some Tigrayans were supportive of the federal government. People like one who remained Minister of Defense, he was a Tigrayan. Others too. The Janal, who recently gave an interview, who opposed the war. He worked as chief of staff for years, and he did not support Tigray fighters during the war. So you cannot say that they managed to unite Amhara 100%, but they have managed to unite Amharas. That is why Amhara allies of PM Abiy are under pressure. Rebecca McConnell just left. Again, Otishagar, silent, enjoying as the Speaker of House of Federation. But Amhara members of the ruling party are at the back foot because of Fano's narrative. The second point is that Fano united Amhara people. Thirdly, this third point is very important because armed groups cannot survive if they don't have the ability to survive. This ability to survive is important for a long struggle. If you remember, last year when government launched operation in Amhara, it said it would just wrap up the operation in days or weeks. Fano managed to survive. Ability to survive is what Fano displayed. And if you remember, last year I said that we'll analyze Fano, we'll compare Fano and Ola next year. I said Ola always proved its ability to survive. It has been facing military operations for decades. It managed to survive. Too early to analyze Fano. Let's wait. Now we can analyze Fano. Yes, it has managed to prove its ability to survive. Despite military operations, despite drone strikes, air strikes, ground operations, whatever happened, Fano fighters survived. Fano group survived. So their third gain, I think, is their ability to survive. They have proven that they're not demoralized, they're suffering losses, they're dying, but struggle will continue. Fourthly, I think the Fano groups are now recognized as players in Ethiopian politics. When it comes to making decisions about the future of Ethiopia, now Fano is a player. Was it a player last year too? No, it wasn't. Americans and other numerous organizations, they're portraying Fano as militias with no discipline and involved in grave human rights abuses. Now Americans want to talk to Fano. PM Abiy, in his speech at the parliament, said that Africa Union, IGAD, could be involved for talks with armed groups, including Fano. So, did anyone last year offer to involve, for a federal government, offer to involve African Union and IGAD to talk to Fano? No, they thought last year that Fano would be crushed in a few days or weeks. Now, their significance as a player is being recognized, and talks are being offered. They are saying, no, we don't want to talk. Foreigners trying to involve themselves too. On the behalf of Fano, some people meeting foreigners abroad, but as I said in the last video, Fano groups, they could not build a central structure, they could not build a representative body to hold talks, which is missing, which they should do, I think. So they are now a recognized player in not only in Amhara but in Ethiopia when it comes to making big decisions about Ethiopian politics, about Ethiopian future. Fifthly, this point, I think we cannot say Fano made huge gains here, but I think they made slight gains on this front. The relations with their arch rivals. Fano's two arch rivals are Ola and Tigray fighters. We cannot say they have reconciled with Ola or with Tigray fighters. But I think Fano groups controlled their statements against Ola, against Tigray fighters in the last 1 year. They did not issue very strong statements critical of TPLF, Ola. They remained very restrained. They wanted to improve ties with Tigrayans and Olas. And that is why I think they released some Tigrayans from prison too in Amhara region. And they've been trying to push into Oromia recently. They tried to organize Amharas there. But they're not issuing very strong statements against Ola. Yes, they have spoken against Ola, accusing Ola of committing atrocities against Amharas and Oromia, but I think they have toned down their narrative a little against Ola, against Tigray, especially against Tigray. They are seeing Tigrayans and Ola people as their future allies. I won't say they have made huge gains here, but they tried to improve the ties with Ola and Tigrayans, but a lot needs to be done for them to be on one page with these groups. So this is what I think Fano has achieved in the last and a half years. There are other points too, but I just tried to have a broader look at the situation in Amhara. Thank you for watching.